Is there anything else that you'd like people to know?
This is the most serious affront to our republic and our democratic principles since the Civil War. What Nixon did was minuscule compared to this. This is so invasive, so overshadowing everything that we do. People don't realize what's going to happen with this data, and there's no way you can control that afterward. I mean, you could be all this data in Facebook and all can be used against you when you go for a job or for a loan or any kind of things. This data will not go away, and it's being shared by industry and the government. And so you could see all this coming down as the Minority Report events can be happening too, for example. You know, the movie Minority Report. Mm. That's where they were looking at people and their actions and figuring out who was going to commit the crime before they did it, and then take them off the street and put them in prison before they commit the crime. On the assumption that their logic is correct and that they will in fact commit a crime. So the future could be you are being prejudged almost every day by what you've done before, and what your actions will be determined by an algorithm in some computer somewhere.
Well, let's just according to your best guess, what do you think's how is this gonna play out a year from now, 5 years from now?
Well, unless we stand up and stop this crap, it's only going to get worse. I mean, because this is a money-making proposition for them. This is what they see. I get to build my bureaucracy. I get to get more money. I can get more contracts, more contractors, more employees. You know, a bigger budget. You know, and it's a growing process all the time. And in order to do that, that means they have to get more and more invasive, to be doing more things. That's why they're expanding into Facebook and all these other avenues to get information about people. That's the trend. Get everything you can. It was the thing rejected in 2003 with Admiral Poindexter, total information awareness. That was rejected soundly by Congress back in 2003. But in fact, they'd already started it at NSA in 2001. But Poindexter, in my view, was thrown out there to test the water. How would Congress react if they knew we were doing this? And so they got a violent reaction, so they kept it secret. They kept it that way. I mean, originally, according to Dick Cheney on his 10th anniversary interview with Steve Hayes, he said that originally only the Gang of Four were briefed on the program. That was the chair and ranking members of the House and Senate Intelligence Committees. That included Nancy Pelosi, and because she was the ranking member of this House Intelligence Committee at the time, and that's also, in my view, why she said impeaching George Bush is off the table when she was Speaker of the House, because she was already culpable. She had agreed to these programs. She was already culpable in them. So George should have said, "Hey, you want to impeach me? You have to impeach yourself too, because you're part of this." So that's why. See, they tried to co-opt the leadership in calling this a covert program, saying that you can't bring any of your staff, any of your lawyers, technical people, or anything. You can come yourself, by yourself, say nothing to no one else. Those are the ground rules of a covert program. But even Jane Harman, after the exposure of the program in the New York Times in December, she wrote a letter to Bush. President Bush is on the web. Harman's letter to Bush is on the web. And it said, you cannot call this a covert program because it doesn't qualify for one under the regulation defining a covert program. And so therefore you can't limit it to the Gang of Eight. So that meant all the members, and she even said you're in violation of the Intelligence Act of 1947, also 1978, also the First, Fourth, and Fifth Amendments of the Constitution, you know, and the Pen Register Law, and the Electronic Privacy Act, Electronic Security Act, any number of laws covering FCC regulations governing telecoms, and also the Internet service providers. All those laws and all that, they're in violation. She didn't mention that, though, but that was part of it, too.
Okay. Anything else you want people to know about?
Well, I mean, it's a you better stand up and start objecting, or you will acquiesce, just like the Weimar Republic did, into a totalitarian state.
Okay, thank you.